Yeah. Hit the logo on the cap, midnight green on the brim. Pro fan talk, every take in the gym. From the link to the league, I'm connected to the spin. Breaking news, breaking plays where you really want to tap in. Philly on my tongue when I'm calling out a route. Pull a clip, roll a tape, then we talk it out. All 22 on my mind, see the motion pre-snap. I'm in the lab with the facts, you just scrolling through the app. Jalen with the read, I'm explaining what you missed. Why the safety bail late, why the cornerback blitz. From the pass rush twist to the red zone slant. Coach Marcus on the mic with the real fan chant. Pro fan talk, hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score room. Pro fan talk, where the real ones call. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. From the draft room rumors to that waiver wire heat. Trade buzz humming like the crowd on Broad Street. Sunday to Monday, I'm recapping every snap. Tuesday got the ball, Eagles filling in the gaps. Eagles on the header, but the scope league wide. How we making deals for the vets on the slide. Quarterback drama, I'ma sort that pile. Coach on the podium, read between the lines. I'm talking rivalries, upsets, underdogs rise, overtime classics, blown calls, bad drives. Jack going crazy when the topic get wild. So we keep it all game, keep it smart, keep it down. Pro fan talk, hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Pro fan talk.
What's going on, y'all? What's good to everybody? Dave Money, first out the limo. Carlos, Daniel Berry Sports, Chris 3K. What's going on? No, I did not see what Schefter said today. I guess he hasn't heard anything different. That's the last thing I heard from Schefter. But then I saw that they announced today that AJ Brown put his house up, listed his house. So I'm of the mindset now that he is probably going to be out, unless he just found another mansion to buy in Philadelphia somewhere. So, I saw that said no handshake deal, but that doesn't listen. Adam Schefter got to go on all of these shows every week, and everybody asks him the same damn questions, and he doesn't have any answers. So he's trying to credit to him. He's trying to make it as plain as it can be. That's what he's trying to do. But they keep asking him and asking him and asking him, looking for some kernel of something. And he was like, listen, I ain't got nothing until closer to June 1st. He said that 3-4 weeks ago. But they keep, when he's on the radio here in Philadelphia, they ask him the same questions. What have you heard about AJ Brown? And he says the same exact things. Same exact things. Everywhere, at least I will give him this. Everywhere he's gone, every TV show, he's been consistent. I ain't got no new news. I don't know if there's a handshake deal. He's basically figured out 7 to 8 different ways to say the same exact thing. Nothing. He doesn't know. I would probably think that it's going to happen. It'll probably be the big news on June 1st or June 2nd or something like that. But as of right now, they're not telling him nothing. And also, you got to remember, the minute somebody tells Adam Schefter something, whether it's the Philadelphia Eagles or the New England Patriots, unless there's a deal in place, the value goes down. The value goes down because people are going to, then everybody gets their hands in the midst and they're looking at it. And look at what happened in Baltimore. Folks get cold feet. So I think, at this point, I think AJ is going to get traded, but how he's keeping it close to the vest, he ain't saying nothing. They ain't saying nothing. So we all just guessing. So it is what it is. You don't, like I said, unless he done found another mansion to live in Philadelphia, that's not something you do lightly. That's not something you do on the hum. It is what it is. I was hoping he could stay, but it doesn't look like he is going to. Because here's the other thing. Here's the other thing with this whole AJ saga. And again, I don't think that he's in the wrong. He hasn't said anything detrimental. He hasn't said anything or done anything disrespectful, in my opinion. But I will say this. It'd have been very easy at some point in time to come out and say, Jalen's my boy. I ain't going nowhere. Devontae, we done made some things happen. We can break records together. He could have said anything, and he hasn't. it can be very easy to nip this in the bud, so to speak. If not for nothing, just to get the radio off his back. But the other side of this is I think he's got so much friggin' disdain for Philly radio, he don't want to tell him shit. And I don't blame him. He ain't got to say nothing, so he won't. So he won't. That was fake. The house listing was fake. Okay. I didn't see it was fake. But I'll trust you. I'll trust you. If it was fake, it was fake. So I don't know. At this point, I guess I'm kind of like, if he could say something, he would. But at the same time, he could be trolling all of us. I said that before. He could troll everybody. I hope he is. I hope he's just giving one big middle finger to Philadelphia media. I truly hope he is. Opening day, I truly hope he trots out there and does his thing. And looking at everybody like, every time he steps on the field, he goes right to the or after every game. I hope he just doesn't say anything. He'd just be sitting at his locker like this. You did not say fake it in chains on Soldier Boy. What in the hell? All right, that was a fake one. I saw it. I didn't even do any homework on it because I didn't think it was that big of a deal that he did put his house up. So if it was fake, good. So then that kind of lightens the load on what I said about him getting out. If that is not true, then I will change my stance, and I'm still back to where I was, where until he says something, until he says otherwise. Until he says otherwise. And we're not gonna hear nothing until June 1st. But I do stand by the fact that he could say something, but again, I think he is just so pissed off with Philadelphia's radio. He basically was like, F y'all. I ain't telling y'all shit. And he don't feel bad about it. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Arthur, I saw that. He jumped in the chat. He jumped in the live chat. That's another thing we're going to get into tonight. Acho versus Leonard Fournette. What the hell? I don't know if y'all saw my video today where I was like, a lot of these podcasters, especially former athletes who are now on podcasts, I consider myself in that group. We have devolved into bully culture. This is like high school bully shit. What Fournette and Acho are doing. Fournette didn't like what Acho said about Kevin Stefanski or whatever the hot take was. And Leonard Fournette went in on him. And it's okay if you don't agree with me. That's your right. You don't have to agree with me. But just because you don't agree with me doesn't mean you got to make everything. Your rebuttal doesn't have to get personal. And that's what Fournette did. He went straight to your career wasn't nothing, so you don't know what you're talking about. You didn't start a lot of games. You didn't make a lot of tackles in your career, so you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, time out. That ain't got shit to do with it. That ain't got a daggone thing to do with his opinion or his hot take. They said the same thing a couple years ago about Dan Orlovsky. They said the same thing last year about Chase Daniel. So it's always been like that because that's the low-hanging fruit. Dan Orlovsky, I'm still trying to remember what he said. Dan Orlovsky was on ESPN, and he made some comment about one of the quarterbacks. And everybody in social media was ripping him a new one. It's like, how would you come up with that? And he was like, that's just what I think. But then everybody immediately went to what he did in his career. He can't play. And then, of course, everybody showed the video of him stepping out of the back of the end zone. And that's like, that has zero to do with whether or not you give good opinions or you study film or anything like that. Because for the most part, Dan Orlovsky is one of the better analysts out there. Every now and then he might say something kind of off the wall, but that ain't no different than anybody else. Anybody else. And everybody wants to go, that's the low-hanging fruit. Your career was garbage, so you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, nah, it don't work that way. Mark Sanchez's career was garbage too, but he's a pretty good analyst. He knows what he's talking about. He knows what to look for. At least it does when it comes to quarterbacks. Chase Daniels was funny to me. Chase Daniels made the comments about Jalen Hurts, about he would not want to start a franchise with Jalen Hurts. I remember that. And everybody in Philly jumped on his case and blah, blah, blah. Then he says some positive stuff about Shedeur Sanders. Now he's on everybody's good side. And I'm like, what happened? All he did was give his opinion. So what it comes down to is, if whether or not you had a good career or not, if you align with my point of view, then we can rock with you. If you don't, well, then you suck. And you had a sucky career and don't believe nothing you say. It is weird how that manifests. And that's that high school bullshit. That, like, and let me preface this by saying I like Fournette. I really like Fournette. As a running back, dude was not afraid of contact, hit the hole, get in where you fit in, and was looking to make contact with somebody, was looking downfield for a DB to come up to make a decision. Fournette was the truth. He just couldn't stay healthy, and he's out of the game. That's the running back's life. That's the bane of being a running back, bane of being a ball carrier. You take most of the punishment, and your lifespan is just a little bit shorter. So I like Fournette, but in this particular situation, I think he was wrong talking about Acho's career and how many tackles he had. And like, that ain't got nothing to do with what he said. So he made it personal and was like, and Acho tried to clean it up, and I think Acho tried to go back at him, and then he looked foolish and was like, how you gonna say the dude had an underachieving career when he played 7 years in the league, got a Super Bowl, was a leading rusher in the postseason one year. So, but that's the life of a running back. You get beat the hell up. So it ain't too many running backs lasting 8, 9, and 10 years and all that kind of stuff. That's not the norm. But Acho brought that up, and it was like, nah, dude, don't just make your point. You made the point about your take. It's not about my career. It's about the takes. He was 100% correct. 100%. It ain't got nothing to do with how many tackles I had. And he said, it's like, yep, I had an underwhelming career and all of that kind of stuff. That ain't had nothing to do with what I said, nor does it have any bearing on it. He should have stopped right there. But then now he gets in trying to compare and contrast. And I said this before. I put this in my video. And Acho was like Wile E. Coyote. Super genius. Remember when Wile E. Coyote just used to show you his business card? He was a super genius. That's what Acho sounds like sometimes. Like he trying to over-explain and trying to mansplain stuff. And it's like, like, dude, the dude's got one of the more popular podcasts. He done been through everything. He was on ESPN, then he was gone from ESPN. He got a podcast, is one of the better podcasts. He done been in the scandal, the thing with Joy Taylor and all that kind of stuff, even though I find that funny that was a scandal. Like them two grown folks making grown folks decisions. And when you looked at that whole situation, that was all because a hairdresser was in her feelings and wasn't minding her own business. So, and I'm sure there's more to it than that, but I digress. Acho, whether you like him or not, he doing his thing. He's trying to take the Stephen A route. Well, he want to be polarizing. Some people like him. Some people hate him. But at the end of the day, whether you like him or you don't, you're watching. That's why Stephen A is so good. Whether you love him or hate him, you watch it. You want to see the train wreck. And they are profiting off of it. And I'm like, I've gotten good in my later years. I've gotten good. If I see something that I don't like, if I hear something that I don't like, I turn it off. The greatest invention ever, ever is the on off switch. And nobody will use it. Why you say that? You ain't have to do like that. Well, you didn't have to watch. You didn't have to come. You didn't have to partake. You didn't have to read it. You didn't have to watch it. You didn't have to listen to it. You had the choice. And you chose to partake. Stop bitching. So, you know what, Panda, I don't watch too many sports shows either. I still watch some of the stuff on NFL Network, like when they just doing like the analysis and all that kind of stuff. I ain't gonna lie, I'm still a big fan of Kay Adams. But I don't even watch her stuff a lot. I'll still watch Good Morning Football, but I haven't watched that in a couple weeks. I like Mina Kimes, but I haven't. I take more of her content online than I do watching her on TV now. So at the end of the day, man, you can take them or leave them. It's all good. But I exercise that right. If you don't like it, you ain't got to listen to it. I wish other people would do that, but it's like everybody wants you on their team. They want you to not like that person too. They want you to not like that take, not respect that opinion, can't stand that analyst, don't like that TV personality. Everybody wants you to join in their fun, and it's like you ain't got to do that. I can think for myself. I can listen to and make a judgment on my own without your help, without your bias, without your pressure of trying to steer the conversation in the narrative one way or the other. I can make my own decision. That's why y'all already know. I tell y'all in here all the time, if I say something that's wrong, case in point, like what we talked about, the house being up for sale, check me, because I don't go through all the information. I try to do most of the times, but sometimes I miss. That's how you know you got people on your squad that's looking out for you. So, yeah, I thought she was better on Good Morning Football, but she did her own thing and got her own lane she did what everybody else was doing. She kind of got out of the gate with the podcast thing. So that's just the way that everybody's moving these days. So I like to look at it now like I'm ahead of the game. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. Yep, everybody's an analyst on Insider, social media, all of that type of stuff. All of that type of stuff. I remember I was watching CNN years ago. I was watching CNN years ago, and they did a story about social media, and it was one of the first times that they had put live tweets on camera on screen, and they didn't know how to react to it. Some people thought it was silly. Some people were like felt disrespected, like, we are a credible news station. Why would you put this kid's nonsense on the screen? Like, it was such in its infancy, they didn't even know what they had. And hell, even now they still don't know how to use it. Yeah. But I like Quentin. I like Mina Kimes because, and of course, when Mina Kimes got popular, everybody found a reason to hate on her. Of course, you hear the low-hanging fruit, her being an Asian woman, and then all of the jokes about Korean, and I believe she's Korean. Like all of the disrespectful stuff comes out of nowhere. She's been doing what she's been doing for years, and nobody had a problem with it. Then the word gets out that she got the new contract. She's one of the more popular people on the network. Now everybody got a problem. Yeah, it is what it is. But I do like Mina Kimes. She seems to do her homework. Let me say it like that. She seems to do her homework. She's not right all the time, but I got faith in her. I trust her to do her homework. When a lot of these other guys on TV don't, they just get shoveled notes in front of their face and they just reading to the red light is on. So it's it's one of those things. It's the landscape that we live in today. That's what it is. But yeah, I like Mina. Uh Mina Kimes. I like I'm trying to think who are the people that I like I look forward to listening to. I do like Dan Orlovsky. I know a lot of people don't like him, but if not for nothing else, Dan Orlovsky strikes me as just being an honest dude. You might not agree with him, but if he says it, he believes it. Baldy is one of my favorites, one of my boys that I played with. And I know Baldy does his homework, bro. Don't nobody watch more film than Baldy. The only person that I think may watch more film than Baldy is probably Greg Cosell at NFL Films. And the only reason he watches more film than Baldy is because half the time Baldy is traveling. But those two people probably watch more film. I know Barrett Brooks watches film. Um, and there's what's his name? What's the brother out of Philly? Big Murph. I watch his podcast. Um, what's the name of his podcast? I can't remember. But he's a Philly dude, and you could tell he used to be. I think he used to be a scout for one of the schools in the SEC or whatever. But you just listen to him and then you watch him. You know he knows ball, and you know he watches film and does his homework. Top billing. Thank you. Shout out to Murph on Top Billing. I watch his content. I know he knows what he's talking about. I know he watches film and I know he does homework. So, you know, so it's I like people like that I know watch film. But the last couple years, it is to me, it's very easy to tell that all of these people that are on television, it's very easy to tell who watches film and who doesn't. Like, easy example, TJ Houshmandzadeh. Love TJ Houshmandzadeh. He a Cincinnati dude. He played a lot of years with the Bengals. So you know I got love for him. But he made a comment about trading Sidney Brown, talking about he was talking about somebody being a replacement for Cooper DeJean. I guess when they re-signed Cooper DeJean, he was like, well, you don't need him. And I'm like, that's no. Andrew Makuba is why they got rid of Sidney Brown, not Cooper DeJean. But I don't know why I guess Cooper DeJean is the more popular name, and that's why he threw him in there. But I don't know. So, it is what it is. You say you got into it with Murph. Yeah, you're a Philly dude, man. He's opinionated. That's why, and that's another thing. That's why I don't get into arguments with people, especially in the chat. Every now and then, I've gotten a couple of um, discussions, but I'm not trying to make it toxic and all of that kind of stuff. Everybody's got their own opinion, and you're welcome to it. Your agreement with my opinion is not required, and everybody can't say that. Everybody gets hell bent on catering to an ego, and I'm going to make you come to my side of this conversation. And if I don't, then I'll look at me like I'm the devil or something like that. I'm not trying to convince nobody. You think what you want to think. Put your facts down. You read the same thing I read. I got a little different opinion on it. Maybe I got more information. Maybe it's an experience thing or empathy thing. But if we reading the same information and we come out with two different answers, well, then you got to go based on what your experience with it is. I'm going on mine. And that's cool with that. I'm cool with that. So, it is what it is. So the only way I think Epps is the starter is if Makuba is not up to snuff. Makuba was playing good last year until he got hurt. Yes, Michael Carter. I'll be forgetting about Michael Carter, but you are correct, Tiff. You are definitely correct on that one. We're in a good spot in the secondary. On defense, the question marks we got is Jahai Campbell, who's going to fill in for Nakobe Dean. And if Jalen Carter can stay healthy, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. What's up, Stacey Jenkins? What's good with you? So, you know, it is what it is. Makuba was balling, and then it was good until he wasn't. You got to stay healthy. You got to stay on the field, man. Rock, that's the question, man. That's the $1 million question right there. That's what I'm during all of this AJ Brown talk. I'm of the ilk where you can get rid of him if you want to, but you better have somebody to fill that spot, and you can't come back with no bullshit. Because you letting a Pro Bowl, a perennial Pro Bowl wide receiver walk. You better get something back. You better get somebody that can step on that field and demand attention, not just a guy. You get another guy if you fill in the spot for somebody that doesn't play. But when you got a Pro Bowl receiver that's productive, you got to match that production, or you better get as close as you possibly can. But you can't replace somebody like AJ Brown with just a guy. Not gonna work. Philly would eat him alive. I don't think Howie Roseman is going to do that, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't, Carlos, you can't put too much stock into what people's, I guess, what they tape look like. You know what I'm saying? Because nowadays, you got to see it for yourself. You got to see it for yourself. Because there's plenty of guys. There's going to be plenty of first rounders this year that don't end up to a hill of beans. And that is one of the hardest things to do. If you do have a pick in the top 32 in the first round, the amount of homework you got to do to make sure you get the right guy is stupendous. But you better get the right guy. And more times than not, even in the first round, you are just getting a guy. That's it. You're hoping that he will be at least as good as the guy that walked away. That's what you're hoping. But you don't know that for certain. Because you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know how he's going to react. You don't know what's going on in their head. You just hope that they can keep it together and focus enough to know that, hey, it's game time. Snap your helmet on. It's time to go. It's time to go. So, Tiff, I think I know how he's going to get at least 1 or 2 linemen out of the draft. That's just bread and butter. That's just bread. You know he's going to do that. You know he's going to do that. So, I'm sitting there watching this game. This is the third game I don't watch today. UCLA over Oklahoma State, 28-10. South Carolina just whooped up on USC. Oh my God, they gave my ass whooping something awful. And then UConn and Syracuse. Lord have mercy. I don't know if y'all saw that game. UConn, it was like 100 to like 40 something. It was Syracuse had 12 points going into the third quarter. 12. It was nuts. It was boring. I'm yelling at Gino Auriemma at before halftime. I'm like, why do you have Sarah Strong and AZ Fudd in the game when y'all up by damn near 50? They should be warming the bench. Don't risk nothing. But you know, it was a good game. It was all right. The Notre Dame game was better. Hannah Hidalgo went off. That girl is so fast. Hannah Hidalgo got what's up, Green Wing Man? Do you feel that Mannion scheme? There's no way to determine this yet, but do you feel that Mannion's scheme can alleviate the loss of AJ Brown if it happens? It depends on who's going to fill his spot and how are you going to fill it. It's too many variables with that question. Number one, what kind of scheme is Mannion running? Is it going to be a lot of motion? If you run a lot of motion, I know quarterbacks don't like that. Jalen Hurts said he don't necessarily like that. But the reason why you do want to put a lot of guys in motion is so you can force the defense to make a move and possibly make a mistake. And so no, you're not supposed to. Not with both. I don't know what Mannion's going to do. I don't know what he's going to try to do. Like I posed the question a couple days ago, is he gonna bring back RPOs? Does Jalen still want to run RPOs? Because RPOs open up a lot of stuff on our offense. And then we stopped running it. So, you know, there's a lot of variables to that. A lot of variables to that. So, but we should be fine. Should be. Got to play the game first. But thank you for that, Green Women. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Yeah, Tiffany, it's almost mock draft season. It's almost mock draft season. I'll wait till the end of the month till March Madness is over. We going into April. I'll bust out the mock drafts. So yeah, Lane Johnson sounded very optimistic, and somebody else had something to say. I think Jalen may have said something. So yeah, everybody's looking forward to it. Everybody's looking towards the future like something can happen. And hopefully this is the guy that can make it happen. So I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be just fine. But we got to wait and see. Wait and see. So, yeah. That's all I got today. We ain't got to go long today. I was interrupted. I was in the midst of mixing another song. I'm working on the theme song for my third channel, my Coach Marcus Games. I had a good idea, put the song together, got everything. It took me, no lie, it had to take me like 40 tries to get the track just right. Everybody think AI just, you put your prompt in and it spits out what you want, but that is far from the case. Far from the case, especially when you're talking about AI audio. You got to work it and work it and work it and work it until it sounds like what you want. Then sometimes it'll for no reason whatsoever. You if I type in Marcus as a lyric, it might come back Marcus. It might come back Marcus. It might come back Marcus. It like the phonetics go nuts when you're dealing with AI. And sometimes you just gotta keep trying until you get what you want. And I finally got that. So I got the theme song to my third channel up. So we moving on along like the Jeffersons. So Kiki Rice, there she go. I'm trying to see what they're gonna do. What's the score? 33-12. Lord have mercy. All of these good teams are just dominating, folks. It ain't even fun. They just like dominate. Mannion McVay 2.0. Listen, we are not going to be a run-first team unless that offensive line can show us that we can run. That sounds good in theory. Sounds very good in theory. However, we'll see what they're going to give us. We got time. We got time, y'all. Stop getting antsy. Stop getting antsy. Schoolboy, I've heard that too, but at the end of the day, I'll believe it when I see it. It's that simple. I'll believe it when I see it. He might have all these great plays and might not know how to call an offense. I don't think that's the case, but it's possible. So again, hands off. Let him cook. Let him cook. And we'll see what he comes up with. So Clint been out here scouting. Oh. But all right, that's all I got, man. Just a quick hit. I'll be back on Wednesday. Tiffany, I have not forgotten. I just got my microphone situation together. Matter of fact, I might do that when I log off. I might go ahead and finish I got to redo my voiceover for my NFL films trip. I did the voiceover. The microphone sounded like hot ass. You know, like I got to do it again. So I'm gonna do that again. I unhooked my mixer and I got it hooked up directly to the USB-C, and it sounds a lot better. You can tell right now it sounds a lot better. So I'm still trying to use the mixer because I didn't spend a lot of money on this freaking thing. And I know it works. It's a me problem. It's user error. So I gotta figure out how to make it work right. So, but yeah, we one step closer to the draft. So we just keep on, keep your head down, keep studying film, and we gonna get there. We gonna get there. So, but I'm gonna get up out of here. We rock for almost 40 minutes. That's good enough for me. OTAs will be here before you know it. Before you know it. So I'm gonna get up on out of here. I appreciate everybody joining me. I'll be back on Wednesday, 10 o'clock. Do me a favor and bring a friend next time. You know how this works. And I'm gonna get up on out of here, man. So I'll try not to fall for the banana in the tailpipe again. They got me on that one. But that's okay. We'll see what's gonna happen soon enough. But I'm out of here. I will holler at y'all later. I will see y'all tomorrow for the Bald Eagles podcast, 8 p.m. on Tuesdays. 8 p.m. every Tuesdays, me and Tone do the Bald Eagles podcast. I'm sure we're going to be talking about all the news, the AJ stuff, everything going on. Tomorrow night on Pro Fan Talk or Chalk It Up Sports. You can be there at B Square. But I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all have a good night. And I will talk to y'all on Wednesday, unless I see you tomorrow on the Bald Eagles podcast. As usual, go Birds.
Mic check. No one likes us, we don't care. Hit the logo on the cap, midnight green on the brim. Pro Fan Talk, every take in the gym. From the link to the league, I'm connected to the spin. Breaking news, breaking plays where you really want to tap in. Philly on my tongue when I'm calling out a route. Pull a clip, roll a tape, then we talk it out. All 22 on my mind, see the motion pre-snap. I'm in the lab with the facts, you just scrolling through the app. Jalen with the read, I'm explaining what you missed. Why the safety bail late, why the cornerback blitz. From the pass rush twist to the red zone slang. Coach Marcus on the mic with the real fan chant. Pro Fan Talk, hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score room. Pro Fan Talk, where the real ones call. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. From the draft room rumors to that waiver wire heat. Trade buzz humming like the crowd on Broad Street. Sunday to Monday, I'm recapping every snap. Tuesday got the Bald Eagles filling in the gaps. Eagles on the header, but the scope league wide. How we making deals for the vets on the slide. Quarterback drama, I'ma sort that pile. Coach on the podium, read between the lines. I'm talking rivalries, upsets, underdogs rise, overtime classics, blown calls, bad drives. Jack going crazy when the topic get wild. But we keep it all game, keep it smart, keep it down. Pro Fan Talk, hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Pro Fan Talk.